Good morning, everybody. Welcome you all to the new session. Today onwards, we are going to begin the first unit of business studies, that is nature and purpose of business. So let's start with the history of business in India. Let's introduce the chapter. With the help of many routes such as the Silk Route, maritime routes, and spice routes, many trade centers and industries prospered, which further opened the path of domestic and international trade in our ancient India. And during the Harappan age, that is 3rd millennium BC, many cities like Mohenjo-daro were engaged highly in the trade of gold, precious gemstones, terracotta pots, etc. with Mesopotamia. This further proliferated trade development and commerce in India. Many of you might have seen the movie Mohenjo-daro. So on the basis of that, you could just imagine the situation that during that time also, during that Harappan age also, we were engaged in carrying out the trading activities, but they were not known as commerce, which are now presently known as commerce. Commerce means deal, that is sale and purchase of goods and services with consideration of cash or kind, that is we make the payment and receive something. This is commerce, or we sell out something and we receive the payment. So this is all what? This is commerce. Now, how this indigenous banking system started? See, you all are aware that we were following a system which was known as barter system of exchange. That is, commodities were exchanged for other commodities. But this system has to be shifted due to specific reasons, which we will be dealing later on. Due to specific reasons, it was not possible to carry out barter system every time with the growing needs of the people, with the growing society. It was not possible every time to find out the person who could exchange the same commodity we wanted and could receive the same commodity which we wanted him to receive. Therefore, there was a need for shifting our economy from barter system to monetary economy and further towards the banking system. Now, what does this indigenous term means? Indigenous means which is related to the country. So, Indian banking system, how it began, our own country's banking system, how it began. It began with few instruments. Today we will be discussing about one of these. So hundis and chittis were the financial instruments which developed in the medieval India for carrying out trade transactions. These are the orders, these are the instruments which we will learn in detail in the coming slides. So these contained an order by a person that described the amount to be paid to the person named in the document. So we understand with this statement that hundi is just a written document or written order. Just like nowadays we are using check, we are using bills of exchange, and also we are using the currency notes. So hundis and chittis were the written orders, were the written documents on the basis of which payment could be made and payment could be received. It was considered as a form of bill of exchange and used as a credit instrument for borrowing the money. Hundi involved the contract which included warranting the payment of money or promise or order which was unconditional. That is, hundi once written had to be accepted. It had the ability to change by transferring by a valid negotiation. For example, if I receive a hundi that I have to make a payment to some particular person, now that hundi or document is with me, and with negotiation I transfer it to my brother or sister. So this negotiation was possible and any other person could make the payment on my behalf. So we conclude now that hundi was an instrument used at that time for making the payment, for receiving the payment, and it was just in the form of promise or order. There were two types of hundis. One was darshani, other was muddati. These are the two categories of hundis which were given different further types, and these types we will be learning in the next slide. Let us first discuss about the types of darshani hundi. These are of four types: dhani jog, sehjog, farman jog, dekhanhar. On the basis of the conditions of these hundis, they were named. What is this dhani jog? Dhani jog is such a type of hundi which could be paid, which can be paid to any person and no liability over the person receiving the payment. Second type of Darshani Hundi is Sehjog. It was payable to a particular person generally considered as respectful. See now, Dhani Jog could be paid to anybody, but Sehjog is paid to a particular respectful person. It involves liability on a person receiving the payment. Third type of hundi is Farman Jog. Farman Jog hundi is made payable to the order. That is the name of a person on whom it is written. It is payable to the order. And fourth one is Dekhan Har. Dekhan Har is payable to the presenter or bearer. As its name itself suggests, Dekhan, जिसका नाम दिख रहा है या जिसके हाथ में दिख रही है, that would be payable to the person. For example, if I am holding a 100 rupee note, it belongs to me. Same, if I give it to some other person, it belongs to the other person. If I lose that money and some other person receives that 100 rupee note, it belongs to that person. So whosoever is holding that note will belong to that person. Same is with Dekhan Har. It is payable to the presenter or the person who is holding this type of hundi. So types of Darshani hundi we learned: Dhani Jog, Sehjog, Farman Jog and Dekhan Har. Second type of hundi is Muddati. Muddati again is of different types. First is again Dhani Jog. It can be paid to any person. It involved no liability. However, payment is to be made over a fixed period of time. Second is the Farman Jog. It is paid to the order involving a fixed term. So paid on order involving a fixed term. If it is issued for 5 days, it has to be paid after the 5 days. If it is issued for 2 months, it will have to be paid after the 2 months. Then comes Jokhami. It is drawn against the dispatched goods. That is, goods which are sold on credit basis. Payment has not yet been received. So Jokhami is written as an order to receive the payment once the goods are sold on credit basis. In case of goods lost in transit, holder or the drawer is responsible for bearing the cost. However, drawee is not liable if the goods are lost during the transit. So these are the two types of hundis. First we learnt about the Darshani and then we learnt about the Muddati. With the emergence of banking system, precious metals were deposited with people who played the role of bankers or seths. Eventually, money was used as payment method to suppliers for producing more and more goods. That is, advance payments were made for producing more goods. Activities like weaving cloth, dyeing fabrics, making clay pots, utensils, handicrafts, sculpturing, cottage industries, ships, etc. contributed to savings and investment. So this way our trading system started. Then intermediaries emerged in between. What were the types of intermediaries? Just as we see nowadays, there are wholesalers, there are retailers. Same were happening in the previous systems also. So these intermediaries, it included the commission agents, brokers, distributors, both for wholesale and retail goods. They took the responsibility for risk and provided financial securities to the manufacturers. Institution of Jagat Seths developed and had a great effect during this period. Bankers started these bankers started being trustees and the executors. Loans and borrowings helped in foreign trade also, but were charged at very high rate of interest, and credit on loan facilities further helped in commercial trade and operations. Many manufacturers and suppliers were able to raise additional capital, which led to expansion of trade and emergence of banks. So about the transportation we'll be learning in the next video. See, just remember that in this module, in this video, we learned that how the indigenous banking system started, and we started with two types of instruments, Darshani and Muddati. I hope that these are clear to you. Next we learn in the next video. Thank you all.